Hi everyone, this is Aaron for the 220 at 220generation.com. I'm doing a series called Youth Ministry 101. It's an expansive, in-depth teaching or sort of equipping of youth pastors regarding youth ministry. How to build it from scratch, how to sort of, if you have one already, how to better it, and how to make it successful. If you watch the 10 or 15 or so videos that we've done so far, we haven't even really started. We will have this in the book soon, so watch out for that. I've been busy with a portion of these teachings, where I've addressed senior pastors specifically. And I want you, for your youth pastor or youth leader, go onto YouTube and search for my message to the senior pastor. My message to the senior pastor. You'll find 4 or 5 teachings there, and then email the links to your senior pastor, so you can find out exactly what are the issues that youth pastors deal with today. And they are really issues that everybody's going through and that we need to address. So senior pastors, I'm talking to you in these sessions. This is the last one I'm doing, hopefully. Maybe later when something comes up again, I'll just push in another video real quick. Previous session, we've spoken about you really putting into your youth pastor and really acknowledging him. Right now, I want to end off with a couple other thoughts. Your youth pastor has the potential. Listen to me very well now. Your youth pastor has the potential to become your solid right-hand man that will stand for you, support you, vouch for you, that will do major stuff for you if you treat him right, if you pay him well, if you look after him, and don't drive him like a slave. I've spoken about that before. He also has the potential to give you and the ministry excuse me, major support and develop influence in the main ministry. His influence in the main ministry, become a spokesperson. He also has the potential to become a great man of God. I want to remind you of a fact and just tell you that Charles Finney, great revivalist, he started out as a 17-year-old preacher. That's why I said, why don't senior pastors put their youth pastors on the pulpit? After all, he's been ordained. He's in an office. Why don't you give him once a month or once every 3 months a chance to preach? You need to develop him. If no one, I think Charles Finney maybe just went out and preached himself. Maybe that's what we should do. Is go into the fields like Martin Luther and go and preach in places where people don't get preached to. But if you really want to be blessed, get your youth pastor to preach in one of your meetings. I dare you. You will be blessed out of your socks. I haven't had that privilege yet. But maybe that's just me. Listen to this. When you get your youth pastor working in the church, ordain him, please. Ordain him in front of the congregation so they can see it. Alright, don't just say, oh, that's our new youth pastor. They'll say, so what? But if you ordain him and lay hands on him and pray with him, it becomes a little more official. The same thing happened with Barnabas and Saul. They were laid hands on and publicly set apart for their missionary ministry. And that's why it was so effective. People knew they were coming and they were around. Put him in contact with the congregation as soon as possible. Through interaction, maybe taking up the offering once or now and then, preaching a message if you're not too threatened and too protective of your pulpit. Also, introduce him to the who's who of the church. Remember, I'm talking now in the context of, say, you've sourced a youth pastor to come and he's new to the church. He's not really out of the church. The ideal, I know, is to have someone out of the church that has been in the church for at least a year or two to become part of the staff. But it doesn't always happen, because someone like me, I am sourced. People ask me, listen, come help, set up, whatever. So it depends what kind of. If you want just a normal person and you want him to go through these teachings that I give, for instance, and help him equip that, do that. Also, before I carry on, I just want to quickly tell you that I'm available all over the world to come and do seminars, to teach and to equip young people, youth leaders and youth pastors to be effective in ministry. I'll come and do a workshop, I'll see what your needs are, and I'll teach them properly. I could do it a week, and we could talk about it. So if you want that. Right, introduce him to the who's who in your church. For instance, the EGB, the trustees, the elders, all the other pastors, the zone pastors and the flocks and whatever. Get them involved and introduce them to them so they know who the new youth pastor or the youth pastor is. It's important to have your machine inside your church work properly. Then it's good for you to have him sit in your elders advisory board, to make him part of the process, because he might come and give you some fresh ideas. Let him interact with them. Get to know him, get to know his style and how he does that. He could also help give you advice from a youth perspective, so you could minister on their level maybe, and he will always be on top of youth issues and what's going on. Let him also report to you on the progress and development of the youth ministry. I was blessed by one of the pastors that I worked for. He included me in the Elders Advisory Board, and it gave me a lot of encouragement and it helped me a lot. Do that because it will help you. Then lastly, invest in the youth ministry. Youth ministry is tough as it is. If you can, put some funds into the youth ministry and help them with the cash flow. What I do is, I'm currently involved in the ministry where there is no input, financial input whatsoever, because the church doesn't have that policy at the moment. So what we do, and that's what I'm trying to teach the youth pastors, is to use what you can. Use what's around you. Use the scrap, use every single thing that you find around you in your illustrations and your exercises and whatever. But if you find it in your heart and you find it possible at all, invest in your youth ministry. I'm talking about money, cold hard cash, for them to buy equipment, decor and all kinds of stuff. Okay? Because youth ministry needs to buy equipment and they need cash flow for running costs, like all sorts of stuff. Bless you. I pray that you would have listened to everything that I say and really use this to really treat your youth pastors better, acknowledge them, develop them, because we don't have that today. This is Ivan Flynn for the 220 at 220generation.com, and I invite you to go to my website and check out what's happening there. It's a youth revival super site. In Jesus' name.